Hello, and welcome back to the Henchman story. On the last episode, we finished off giving Kate the tour of the lair. We learned practically nothing about Kate, while Kate learned almost everything about us. I say almost everything, that's an exaggeration, but I still believe Kate is a superhero in disguise. I think I've said this for the past 2 parts now, but yeah, that's just how strong I believe it. Though, that being said, I do believe Kate is a fun character and is very nice as a character. So, I guess really, it's time to see where this goes.
I'm more impressed that you didn't get lost. This place is like a maze.
Not like a maze, it is a maze, literally. If a superhero ever gave enough of a shit to come after us, they'd spend so long figuring out where to go that we could just leave them in the dust.
Smart, but wouldn't they already have the layout of the area mapped?
That's actually pretty smart. Nice move, Lord Bedlam.
Kind of. He technically didn't design the place. We got it in a liquidation sale a few years back. I think it was built by some Cold War-era Soviet group. Not a big market for that these days.
I see.
You think Madame Scorpion has an app for supervillain liquidation sales, too?
Probably. I bet that's booming business. If a big name gets locked up, they must leave a lot of assets behind. I know that the lawyers are all over that. They love both sides of this hero villain thing.
That makes sense, and is quite sad to hear, really.
Think so? Or is this from personal experience?
Experience, I guess. I got in some trouble a while back. That's why I got scouted for Henchman. It targets people with legal issues or debt, or...
Just makes it more suspicious that you're a hero, because you specified that lawyers are on both sides of heroes and villains. And you said you've got experience.
At least that's what I think. Can't really say for sure how it works. I'm just a recruit after all.
Kate, I enjoy your character, but you are not to be trusted. By now, most of the others have started to file back into the main hall. The rookies and veterans are splitting back up into their separate groups, and Kate seems to have noticed as well.
So, I guess I'll see you around?
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be nice. Kate was surprisingly good company. It was good to play a few rounds of verbal ping pong where the other player didn't stare slack-jawed at the ball as it bounced past them. Bless Dave's little heart, I know he tries. But some wit does a man good every now and then. In fact...
Hey, do you know your lunch period yet?
I think so. Let me check.
She pulls out a pamphlet out of one of her belt pouches. It's perfectly folded, of course.
Second shift.
Crazy, that's mine too. Want to eat together? I promise I won't get you involved in my holy war with the chef.
Good. You seem like a decent guy, Stan, but I don't think I'm ready to start for you.
Okay, then. Cool.
Can't blame you for that. And hey, maybe by the time lunch is over, you'll know if you can stand my company long enough to join that S&S session. And if you want. Invitation's still open, is all I'm saying.
Still thinking about it, but sure. I'll let you know by then. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Sure, sounds good.
So we've made one friend to balance out whatever Dave is. Because I wouldn't call Dave an enemy, but he's a bit too much to be a friend, right?
Great. So, guess I'll see you then.
Though, he is definitely an ally, I guess. Kate offers a wave and a smile before turning to leave. I follow suit, though my own smile can't really match up against hers. When I rejoin my peers, I glance back at the crowd of newcomers, but Kate has already disappeared from sight. That girl, there's something about her. She's a superhero. I'm telling you, Stan. I feel like I forget the character's name, but the dragon from the animated version of Mulan, voiced by Eddie Murphy. I just need to grab him, Stan, shake him to wake him up. This is not good. It's not just that she's cute or that we get on so well. It's not even that she's a tall newbie. There's just something about her that I can't quite place. It's bugging the hell out of me. Whatever it is, I'm not going to figure out right now. Lord Bedlam's gonna show up at any minute and...
Welcome back, my loyal compatriots! and compatriots who aren't yet as loyal, but will be soon.
Wait, I keep forgetting about Lord Bedlam. He's good. He's great.
I trust your glorious orientation went smoothly, and that our new recruits can now aid us in our even more glorious quest for still greater amounts of glory.
That's a lot of glory.
But if you have any questions, feel free to contact Samantha in HR. A new workplace can take time to get used to. We're very understanding of that here. But when you do get used to it,
is it just me as Lord Bedlam kind of like Michael from The Office by Steve Carell?
I know that you all shall become invincible soldiers in our infinitely wonderful marathon of splendor.
Well, I say that he's kind of because he wants to be friendly with the employees, but he's also kind of like mixed with I guess Gundam from Danganronpa. Yep, like death and taxes, Lord Bedlam's daily ranting is a certainty. It's almost comforting. Almost. Oh, issue 4. The Magnet. Okay, time skip. I managed to open my eyes just enough to see my clock. It's an hour before my alarm is set to go off, and someone is knocking on my door. A whole hour of precious sacred sleep gone, taken its time. Taken before its time? I didn't get it. I think I just skipped a word. If I had the energy, I'd go rip whoever it is a new one. But since I don't, I'll just roll out of bed and waddle wearily towards the door. Is it Dave?
Yeah. Just a second.
I throw on a t-shirt on my way there, and when I arrive in the doorway, I slam my fist on the control panel with contempt. I knew it was Dave. Why are you so eager this early? I should have expected the beaming smile that greets me, but it doesn't stop me from grimacing at the sight.
Morning, Stan! Gosh, it sure took you a while to get up.
Yeah?
Took a while. Dave, we don't have assembly for like 1,000 years. Why are you even here?
Actually, Stan, that's the thing. You don't have assembly today. Here, this was at your door.
Dave hands me a small note. I rub the sleep out from my eyes and read it out loud.
Henchman number 065. In light of our administrative changes and our integration of the Henchman program, you are scheduled to receive an in-depth review of your recent performance today.
Oh no.
Arrive in room 243B no later than 8:30 a.m. Failure to comply will have dire consequences. Yikes. That seems a little over the top. Wait, if this was just posted here this morning, how did you know to come wake me up?
Oh, I didn't. Mine's not until tomorrow. But I figured there was a slight chance you might have an early review, so I just wanted to make sure you were ready anyway. Better safe than sorry, right?
I think thank you, Dave. I mean, you definitely had the good intentions. Considering I don't know what time we're supposed to wake up, I don't know how early you woke us up for nothing. But yeah, you definitely had good intentions. Thanks for having me back. That's unintentionally helpful. What's wrong with you? I mean, I know Stan wants to go with what's wrong with you. I mean, the honest truth is that it's unintentionally helpful. But thank you for having me back.
Yeah, for sure. Very, super thorough of you. Thanks for the heads up, man.
I mean, it's true, we didn't know we had a performance review, so he has helped us.
Hey, what else are supervisors / best buddies for?
We're gonna have to return the favor.
Probably like a whole litany of things, but I'll assume that this is somewhere on the list. Anyway, I'd better get ready. Hold down the fort for me while I'm gone, alright?
Why would you tell him that?
Will do. Go get 'em, buddy.
As Dave leaves, I close the door and sigh in relief. That boy's just not all there. Handling him takes more energy than I've got this early in the day. Yeah, we've all got someone like that. I look longingly at my bed. I probably have time to squeeze in a little more sleep, but since I'm already up, it's not worth the risk. True. May as well just go ahead and hit the showers. After showering, changing, and spending several long minutes trying to stave off the general sense of impending doom, I make my way to room 243B. While I've never been to that room specifically in the meetings in, I'm familiar enough with the area. It's the Lairs administrative section, so unless you work for HR, you generally don't want to be there for too often. As I round the final corner, I spot my destination just down the hallway, with its doors wide open.
You got this. No sass, no back talk, just get it over with.
Yeah, I understand the fear. Oh, this is Madame Scorpion's. Okay, and at least with Lord Bedlam, I felt like I had a chance. We've entered the room now. I no longer feel like we have that chance. Well, this is fancier than I expected. Not that the bar is all that high. I mean, our break room couches hail from curbsides across America. I had to think about that. So, clearly, this isn't Lord Bedlam's doing. I guess the giant scorpion on the wall makes it pretty obvious. Not to mention, with the room's sole occupant.
Henchman number 065. You're 3 minutes early. How unusually punctual of you.
Well, considering you say unusually, that's not good.
Unusual? No, I'm Mr. Punctual. That's me. I just love being on time.
That's not a good start.
Not according to our records. Or your late departure from the scene of Wednesday's operation.
Okay.
Oh, right. That thing. Thanks for the save, by the way. I wasn't looking forward to another beating from Miss Dynamo. I have a feeling she was gonna break something this time.
Think nothing of it. That child is like a barking dog. Loud, but stupid. Dealing with her was no trouble at all. So if you'd like to thank me, be on time from now on. Will you?
I don't feel like we have a choice.
Sure thing. Wait, by from now on, do you mean at other meetings with you? Because I sort of thought this was going to be a one-time thing. I mean, why would you want to meet with me? I'm just...
Have a seat, Stanley.
Ooh, full name.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I say full name. Full first name. Full forename, sorry. There are 2 chairs in front of Madame Scorpion's desk. I quickly take a seat in one of them. For her part, Scorpion stays standing, preferring to slowly stalk about the room. I really wish she'd stop. It's hard not to fidget with her looking at me like that.
Don't fret. This isn't about your punctuality. In fact, you're quite average in that regard. The henchmen here tend to be late in general.
Well, that's not a good thing.
But you know that, don't you, Stanley? After all, you've been here for years, haven't you?
Well, what are you getting at?
Yeah, that's right. I'm what you might call a seasoned veteran. An experienced, loyal henchmaner. Or henchmanee. Henchmanist?
So you are. And how many promotions have you earned in your long and illustrious career?
I'm gonna guess none, because we aren't aiming for any.
Technically, about, 0-ish?
Not ish, just 0. You have had 0 promotions.
We have not looked for any.
Well, I mean, I've received some pretty good compliments every now and then. That's kind of the same thing, right?
No, it is not.
This would be going better if she asked questions that she didn't already know the answer to. I can't prevent the fidgeting at this point, and Scorpion seems to notice. She stops pacing and leans back against the desk in front of me.
Oh, Stanley, don't be so nervous. You're not in trouble. That's why we're having this meeting in my office.
I don't trust you.
And where would we be having it if I were in trouble?
Wherever we are, I'm assuming.
Somewhere where I could be more persuasive.
In public.
Oh, well, that sounds less fun. I think.
Certainly for you, Stanley.
That's fair, honestly. Thinking about it, because you are a villain.
But then again, I have a feeling that you have quite the pain threshold.
Considering we've been a henchman for years and therefore have taken quite a few beatings, I'm assuming so as well.
What makes you say that?
Deductive reasoning. You've been a henchman in the Bedlam organization for over 5 years with no promotions, no arrests, and minimal injury leave.
Oh, well, that's over 5 years. That's one thing. That's a surprise, even to me. No promotions. That makes sense. Stanley doesn't sound like the type he wants to. It's clock in, clock out. No arrests, fair enough. Just means we're good at not getting caught. The minimal leave injury, I guess it just means we are lucky, I guess.
Barring promotion, the average henchman career is 8 months. Why do you think you've lasted so much longer?
Because we are good at surviving. My god, Club Bedlam's leadership, I work smarter, not harder. Stan definitely would say, my dashing good looks. I work smarter, not harder, and Club Bedlam's leadership. I don't know. The top one's definitely the choke answer, I believe. But it might have serious consequences for saying it. I really want to say my dashing good looks, because I do not trust the bottom answer with this lady.
Well, obviously, I'm way too charming and handsome to get taken down by your average cape and cowl type. I mean, you know how it is.
I'm afraid I don't. Enlighten me.
Okay, that's good. She thinks we're incompetent. That's good.
Really? No hero's ever looked at you and gone, you know, I was planning to suplex you through that car over there, but I can never harm someone so fine. Because that happens to me all the time.
This is already regretting this.
I can't tell if you're puffing up your ego, trying to flatter me, or attempting career suicide.
All three. And I can't tell if that looks in her eye means she's amused or wants to peel off my skin. Most likely that one, but screw it. Just with Chef Antonio, I've committed to this house. It's not going back.
Well, you
there's
seem
no
to
going
be
back.
encouraging forthrightness.
I told you to relax. And I also told you what would happen if you got in trouble.
Maybe I'm into that?
Stan, shut up. Oh, crap. I took the joke too far. Jesus Christ, Stan. What's wrong with you? Yes, what is wrong with you, Stan? And there it is. This look I'm not a fan of. Once again, this ass has betrayed me.
Oh, trust me, Stanley. You're not. You're really, really not.
She's making it sound like a challenge. Why are you doing this?
I'm gonna take your word on that one. You're the expert and the boss. The expert boss. So just, no need to demonstrate, okay?
Find myself leaning back in my seat involuntarily. Scorpion leans closer. Then all of a sudden she retracts.
Oh, Stanley. Darling. Didn't I already tell you that you weren't in trouble?
Yeah, you're also a villain. Why would you tell the truth?
But after that sorry display, I think we can safely conclude that your charm, such as it is, isn't what's kept you out of a body cast. Don't you agree?
That's a reasonable assumption, yeah.
I mean, it has kept us currently unharmed this time.
And as for your looks, well, handsome or not, they won't do you any good in that uniform of yours. Purple is just not your color, Stanley.
I don't know. I feel like purple can be many people's color. After taking a moment to look me up and down, Scorpion shakes her head in disapproval and resumes her stalking. Man, I can't tell if this tension is the deadly kind or something else. Definitely the deadly kind. Maybe I should just assume she's toying with me 100% of the time until proven otherwise. Seems safer. Yeah, makes sense.
Here's the point, Stanley, and do keep this in mind. The Scorpion Group has been observing this organization for months now. We know everything about it, including you.
Why? I mean, I guess because we have stayed out of a body cast, but we are still nothing special.
And with that knowledge, you are the first henchman I chose to speak to. Not your supervisor or Bedlam's other acolytes. You.
I find that hard to believe.
And you kept me from getting flattened at that data center. Thanks again, by the way.
Yes, I did. As I said, I was protecting my investment, which includes you, Stanley. However small your contribution.
See, so this is why I don't believe that we are necessarily valued, I think is the word I want to go for.
You see, Henchman is still in a closed beta, and that goes both ways. Not only are we selective with the organizations that can utilize the program, but the henchmen who can join it.
Then what about Kate? Tell me about that.
To succeed on Henchman, contractors need a certain mindset, a set of patterns and behaviors that will let them thrive and solidify the program's ecosystem. Based on the data, you may have that mindset, Stanley.
I promise you we do not. You're lying.
But I can't know for sure without reviewing your performance in person. So let's return to that subject, shall we? In fact, let's speak of a specific performance.
Surviving superheroes?
2 days ago, you were part of an operation. Your squad was left in the rear guard. Do you recall what happened?
We fought Shining Nova. Everyone was taking out Dave first. Then we got in, 2 hits of Shining Nova. That's when we got taken out. Then Dave and I were woken up. I don't have any recollection of what happened to the rest of the squad, but Dave and I made it out.
A very painful celebrity meet and greet.
Yes, Shining Nova is quite the famous superhero, and you two met face to face.
Well, face to mask, or mask to mask.
More like face to helmet, but yeah, we got acquainted. Kind of.
Stan and I still having the same, thoughts.
It's not very satisfying, is it? To meet someone who hides themselves so completely.
You are making it sound like you know who Shining Nova is, and I'm going to assume it is Kate still. If you've got Kate, hidden somewhere, as look, it's Shining Nova, ta-da, what do you plan to do? I'm assuming this is going to be a choice, major branching choice.
It's even less satisfying to get tranquilized by them.
I imagine. Fighting someone is so much more intimate when you can see their eyes.
Is that why you fight with Miss Dynamo?
Their hatred, their fear, their pain.
Note to self, when fighting Madame Scorpion, close your eyes.
I'm, usually on the opposite end of that last part.
That's too bad. Feeling pain is well and good, but you can't really appreciate it until you've given it too. You're really missing out, Stanley.
Uh-huh, I will take your word for it.
But back to the matter at hand.
Yes, performance review.
You were the final member of the rear guard to engage Shining Nova during that operation, and you did so alone, after your colleagues had all rushed in at once or fled.
Yes,
When you put it like that, I sound pretty stupid.
I suppose.
You certainly didn't have the odds in your favor. In fact, we did an exact calculation of your chances of success in that scenario. They were 600,000 to 1.
Okay. Yeah.
And now I sound really stupid.
If your goal was to succeed. But you weren't trying to succeed, were you, Stanley? Not in the traditional sense.
True, I suppose we were there to stall.
Why don't we review your moment-to-moment decisions during this encounter?
Scorpion strides over to the desk and presses a few keys on the fancy-looking keyboard that's resting on it. In response, the equally fancy holographic display setting sitting next to it comes to life. The display morphs into a miniature recreation of the research lab we raided on Wednesday. It's really exact. Too exact to be a recreation. This had to be footage from somewhere. Once it's in place, Scorpion gestures to the footage.
So, Stanley, here you are. You were faced with an A-list superhero all by yourself. What did you do?
Damage their leg. I look at the display. She's definitely watched it before. It's not like I'm going to tell her anything she doesn't already know. This has to be on purpose.
Well, I figured that if I didn't move, I was going to get blasted in the face, and everyone attacking at once had just failed pretty horribly. So I just kind of dove for cover.
That's sound reasoning. If unconventional for someone of your lowly rank.
Unconventional how? Seems like common sense.
Okay.
Statistically, of course. Typical henchman reactions to a threat are to flail wildly in some pale imitation of attack or to flee in terror. Every now and then you may see a few try to avoid a specific attack, but it's rare for such an attempt to succeed. Based on the data, your actions and their outcome were somewhat remarkable.
Meaning we were not supposed to succeed. I guess that makes sense when you think about it. Most of the heroes that you meet have superhuman abilities, and most henchmen don't. So even avoiding a single blow is difficult.
So, does this mean I have some kind of enhanced reflexes or something?
That's not something you should say because you don't want to try and test it out.
Oh, goodness no, Stanley. Just look at you.
Madam Scorpion advances the footage, and I see myself diving desperately for cover. I look a bit like a fish jumping out of water. There's no real coordination, just kind of flop around.
Yeah, I guess I see your point.
I should hope so. You land with all the grace of a bag of yams.
I think the expression is a sack of potatoes.
That's the one I'm used to.
Does it matter? Are potatoes more graceful than yams?
I mean, can't they be used for more food? I don't exactly know what yams are, but I believe potatoes are very flexible in the food that they can be used in.
No, I guess they basically have the same amount of grace, as in none whatsoever.
And yet, despite your starch-like reflexes, you managed to avoid Shining Nova's blast. Because, fortunately for you, you think faster than either a yam or a potato.
Oh no, Dave is yam and or potatoes. I almost remark about how low the bar is when I suddenly remember the Potato Pope, a supervillain whose henchmen were literally semi-sentient potatoes.
Sadly, quick thinking is sometimes no match for raw power.
Hence Miss Dynamo. To illustrate my point, Madam Scorpion lets the footage play once more, showing Shining Nova blow my makeshift cover to smithereens and slowly advancing on my position.
I wouldn't say it's no match. More like half a match. 40%. Maybe a third. I did get a shot in there.
A whole shot, you say?
Oh no, it's not as fun when you're sarcastic. Bring back Kate.
I think this qualifies as a shot. I mean, look at that. I definitely jammed up Nova's knee joint right there. It's totally a shot.
Very well. Let's define that as one shot. Now, with that in mind, what would you call this?
She gestures to the hologram where I witnessed my failed attempt at take Shining Nova to the ground, and the brutally efficient counterattack that follows it.
That's also a shot.
You truly think those are equivalent?
Well, yeah. Like you said, my goal wasn't to succeed, but Nova's was. For me, a shot is just slowing Nova down. But for Nova, a shot was an attempt to put me down. You, know what I'm saying?
Perfectly. And you're exactly right. For you, getting brushed aside by a superhero is normal. But for Shining Nova, to be delayed by you for so much longer than their mean henchman disposal time is an embarrassment.
Wait, hold on, the mean. Okay, and henchman disposal time. So, okay, we've been the most successful by the sounds of it.
Why? If I'd been in Shining Nova's position, I'd have no choice but to cut you into little pieces just to save face.
That wouldn't work though, would it? Because you wouldn't be saving face.
Not that I'd let you live long enough to let you delay me in the first place, of course.
That's why you're the villain, not the hero.
Well, good thing I work for you then, so you never have to think about cutting me to pieces, even large ones.
Never say never, Stanley.
Never.
But let's get back to Wednesday's operation. If you look at the footage right here, you'll notice something interesting about where you landed. What might that be?
In front of the hostages. Even though I know what she's talking about, I look at the footage anyway.
I'm pretty close to a door, and the engineers that we took captive aren't far either.
Correct. Though you didn't realize that second bit so quickly at the time. In fact, you don't notice until this moment right here.
He advances the footage until the hologram me turns his head the direction of the hostages.
And then what precisely did you do with this newly acquired knowledge?
Run for the door.
I ran for the door.
And that seemed like the best option at the time.
It seemed like the only option, honestly.
Really? At no point, even after you noticed your proximity to those captives, did you consider a different approach? You didn't even for a moment think that perhaps you could use their presence to your advantage?
Well, no, because if anything, it would just endanger them. Well, it would endanger them, therefore endanger myself, therefore, because their shining over would be more focused on us. Ah, crap. Somehow I didn't think about being honest. I don't think being honest is the right call here. Looking out for the safety of the hostages isn't a very fullness after all.
No, I didn't really think about that. I was kind of preoccupied by all the high-tech projectiles that could be fired at me. They were my most immediate concern, you know?
For being so focused on them, you did a rather poor job of getting out of their way.
That is true.
Story of my life. My biography's gonna be called Stan. I couldn't get out of the way.
I think with that sassy remark, we shall call it there. Thank you for stopping by, and hopefully you had fun. And hopefully I can see you on the next one. With that, goodbye.